Today's class is called What Do You Know? And essentially what I want to know is what do you all know? And what are you thinking about? And just related to a lot of different things that we're going to talk about all semester. And some of them are pretty mainstream, and a few of them we're going to walk kind of close to the edge a little bit. But you really just want to see what you have to say about things. And I'm going to ask for, it's going to be all volunteers. We're going to, you all are going to be talking. I basically am going to slack for the next couple of classes. So you all are going to do my job. And here's the thing to remember. There are no gotcha moments here. And you all need this. We need to be kind. Kind. Got it? This is not the standard social media where we slam people and someone says the wrong thing and there's all the buzz in the class, whatever the wrong thing is, because all of us could or would say the wrong thing. I do it all the time, obviously. So we're just having a cool conversation. We're going to have a conversation. So as you volunteer, remember that there's no gotcha stuff. It's actually kind of I think we're rocking.
Their names are John and Jane. They're both white, and they both grew up in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so say something about cross-cultural adoptions, meaning people adopting children from another ancestral background. Just what do you think people will be really good for this class to know that they probably don't know? Things that not just you've experienced, but other people who've been adopted cross-culturally experienced. This is like, let's say that everybody in this class is thinking about adopting someone from a different culture, right? What would you, like, what advice would you give them? What would you say? Like, hey, here's some things you probably don't know or don't think about.
I think there's a lot of judgment with stuff like that. Parents get criticized. They're like, I don't know, this is like pretty racist, but people often say, why wouldn't you want a kid that looks like you? I've heard that a lot. It's pretty hard because, when I was little, like in elementary school, I didn't really understand why I didn't look like my parents. And a lot of my friends have siblings, and I have like two sisters that are from my dad's previous marriage before he adopted me. It's kind of complicated, but like all my friends look exactly like their siblings and all this stuff, and I just didn't, and I didn't really understand why until probably like middle school. So it's kind of hard when people say stuff like you don't look like your parents, like especially whenever people, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
When you say it's hard, like you mean so you feel like, does it destabilize you? So like you don't have a home or you don't belong?
Yeah. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of, they're not your real parents.
You grew up knowing that you didn't look like your parents, like you said.
Yeah.
If you had like one conversation where your parents sat you down and said, you're adopted, we didn't have you, like, did it make it easier or harder growing up knowing already that you didn't look like them?
My parents never actually sat me down and had a full conversation about it. It was kind of something that they established early on, but I still didn't like really understand it because I was so young. But it's something that I've struggled with a lot up until like within the past few years. It's been hard because I never actually knew my birth parents. Like I was left somewhere and found and taken to an orphanage and all that stuff. So
do you ever feel like your parents like don't understand a certain part of you, like because you guys don't look alike? Like if you have like a cultural problem or something at school or like experience something racist, do you feel like you can't really talk to them because they're not going to understand?
Well, I was really lucky to have parents that are very understanding. I feel like I can talk to them about anything. So I feel like if I ever had an issue with that, I could come to them and they would understand. But I know a lot of people aren't like that. And I guess I was just really lucky in that instance. But there is always a part of me that kind of feels like I don't have the same connection with my parents as other people do. And that's sometimes hard for me. But I just have to keep telling myself that they are my real parents and that they love me like the same as any other parents would love their kids.
Hey, Hey, those of you who are adopted by someone of a different ancestry, do you want to add anything to this? Like, do you want to add anything?
Okay, well, I was adopted and my dad is white and my mom my mom is from Denmark. So instead of having like Asian culture and background like embedded when I was growing up, I had Danish culture and background. I'm also dual citizenship in Denmark and America. So I have like that background. I think it's cool. And I didn't really like, same with her, I didn't really have that concrete like conversation like you're adopted. I think it kind of just like, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that was that. Oh, but one thing also, like with what she was talking about, like my sister gets it, I guess. Like in lines or something, they won't know that my sister's with my mom as like parent and child. They think like it's my mom and then my sister's there by herself. That's never happened to me, but she said it before.
But it's like a constant thing, right?
For
like
her,
it's a constant
I guess.
thing.
Not for
you're
me.
sort
I haven't had that, but
Yeah.
she has.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Dude, Hong Kong. Tell us
Hong
about
Kong.
Hong Kong. What's going on? What do you know? What do you got?
Yeah, so when I first see this word, it pops out of my head is a place in China in the southeastern. It's a southeastern island, I think so. Yeah, and I've been there once. It's a really beautiful place and modern place to hang around. And I know there's a lot of things going on in Hong Kong. Yeah, and it's really miserable there. But yeah,
That's it, bro.
I think I could come up with more.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah,
there,
there's.
man.
I know.
All right.
I know.
People are sort of getting rowdy, unruly, you know.
Violence. Yeah, I know.
So were you just back home in China?
Yeah, and I transferred my flight from Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't want to get caught up in the ruckus?
Now.
So what are they saying? What are they saying in China, in the Chinese media about Hong Kong? Are
Yeah,
they
from
saying
the
anything?
Chinese media, they're just trying to proclaim their right to just save Hong Kong, but they haven't done any actions yet. They trust the Hong Kong police officers, and they trust them. They can deal with all these problems.
So hi, I'm Bhav. I live in Hong Kong. I just wanted to ask you, considering how much Chinese media is controlled by the government, how much do the Chinese population really know about what's going on in Hong Kong right now?
Yeah, they know a lot about that from Chinese media, like which is subjective, I think. Like from Hong Kong's perspective, that's what I heard about. Like we don't really know what the people from Hong Kong really think, and yes, that's what I'm thinking.
So nothing, bro. You lived in Hong Kong?
I live there right now. Yeah.
You live there right now?
Yeah.
Where are you? What's your ancestry?
So I'm from India, but I travel a lot. Like I move around a lot. So right now I'm currently living in Hong Kong.
Nice to meet you,
dude. There's a guy from Hong Kong. You didn't expect him to look like that, did you? But there he is. So what would you say is going on in Hong Kong, man?
So basically, for everyone that doesn't know, basically in a nutshell, the Hong Kong government was going to pass a new law about extraditing any criminal from any other country that's hiding in Hong Kong. So right now the law basically states that Hong Kong will only extradite a criminal. For example, if there's a Dutch criminal hiding in Hong Kong, they will only extradite him back to the Netherlands if they have a specific treaty with Netherlands. But this new bill that's being passed says that depending on if the criminal is convicted guilty in Hong Kong, they'll extradite them to wherever they're from, regardless of whether they have a specific treaty. And basically the protests are about the fact that this allows Hong Kong and China to... So right now, technically they're the same country, but they have two governments. And they have different immigration, etc. So what Hong Kong people are most worried about is the fact that with this, if this bill is passed, the Chinese government can basically extradite anyone they want from Hong Kong in order to suppress like political opposition or whatever they may please. And that's what Hong Kong people are really insecure about, and that's what's causing the protests.
Dude, nice. All right.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, except that y'all clap for him, but there's probably about 1.2 billion people in the world who would disagree with what he said. Just saying. But like, that's all good. Yeah. No, I got it. That was good. All right. Cool. Thanks, Matt. That was a joke, by the way. Like the entirety of China would disagree, but okay.